Wednesdays here on the program, we like to put the spotlight on the farm women's group, Common Ground.
Common Ground is a group of farm women who want to be a resource for consumers who want to know more about how their food is grown. So joining us today is Common Ground volunteer Leslie Boswell. Thanks for coming in on a snowy day.
Yeah.
I made it.
All right.
Were you like this the whole way?
I was kind of wondering there for a while on interstate. It got pretty nasty, and I saw a lot of accidents, but I just kept going.
You took your time and you made it. I'm
That's
glad
it.
you're here. Well, we want to talk today about gluten. There's a trend now toward gluten-free foods.
Yes, and it is a trend. It is not necessarily medically necessary like some people make it seem. There is a disease called celiac disease, which is an autoimmune disease. People will very negatively react to gluten, and they absolutely do need to go gluten-free because it can be deadly. I mean, seriously. There are some people that have an intolerance to it, but their symptoms are much more mild. They should also avoid it if they can. But the thing about gluten is it's a protein that is found in 3 grains: wheat, barley, and rye. That's it. You're not going to find it in orange juice. You're not going to find it in so many different things that they've got marked gluten-free. There's no gluten there to be free. I mean, it's a marketing deal. So what gluten does is these 2 proteins work together and they help breads hold their shape. They give it the elasticity of the dough that helps it rise. There is nothing medically that says that you can't eat it. In fact, some studies have shown that if you try to avoid gluten and you don't need to, you're also missing out on healthy whole grains. And they say that if you're not medically necessary to stay away from gluten, that you really should try to keep it in your diet because that is a necessary part of a good, healthy, balanced diet.
And I think maybe one of the messages that you have is that you support choice. There's choice out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think some of the people that are trying to avoid gluten are possibly feeling better because they're keeping the wheats and the pastas, the breads and pastas, somewhat out of their diet, and they're replacing them with vegetables and fruits and healthier things. So they're making healthier balancing that way. And it's not necessarily that they were allergic to the gluten, they're just balancing it with something healthy on the other side.
And if you're unsure if maybe you have an issue with gluten, you should probably check with your doctor about that.
You should. I saw some reports that said people try to avoid it to see if they are intolerant to it, and that's not the way to do it. You should go to your doctor, and there are tests that can be run that will tell you whether you are or not.
But again, just a kind of a reminder, gluten is a natural element, and you said barley, rye, and wheat. And
That's it, yes.
And if you're not allergic to it, it's not such a bad thing to
There's no
have.
reason to avoid it.
Okay, Leslie, thank you today. And I know you're here with a recipe too.
Yes, and sticking with the gluten, I've got bread pudding.
Ooh, all right.
I like that.
Sounds good. Thank you, Leslie.
All right.